LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And good morning, everybody. Kansas City, here we come. It's the second race of the second round of what NASCAR calls the playoffs. For the last time this year, Todd Bailing in beautiful Linden Station, Wisconsin, joined by my three partners, beginning with Oostburg's own Brian Schmidt. Hi, Brian.
Morning. NASCAR goes back to 1.5 miles for the first time since the Coke 600 back on Memorial Day weekend. Remember when all they did was run 1.5 miles?
And
I guess that's not the case anymore.
And this car is the best on 1.5 miles.
Yeah, ironically enough, and then they don't run on that.
PJ Noodleman on the west coast of Wisconsin. Hi.
Hey, ready to roll.
And we're happy we're doing that too. Dan Margetta, our producer director, who's in, I don't know where you're not in St. Francis, are you?
He's probably at a casino.
No, not there either. I'm in South Milwaukee right now, getting ready to go to the Brewer game with my parents. It's the last game of the season. They have an extra ticket, so I'm going to go along with them. But this whole Kansas
thing, win one today, just for old times' sake.
It would be nice, but I wouldn't mind knocking the Mets out of the playoffs either by losing. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, but Kansas, total, we're not in New Hampshire anymore, right? I mean, those Penske cars were unbeatable last week at New Hampshire. Now they're actually in Kansas, and all three of them had problems. Blaney's lucky he's got that free pass.
Yeah, Blaney from the win to blew a tire in practice and hit the wall, and apparently starts from the rear. I was going to say starts from the rear. There's 37 cars in the field today, and he's listed 37th, but he's actually not starting from the rear because the last starter will be Joey Logano. What happened to him? He blew the engine?
No, he had a tire issue also in practice, and they weren't able to get it rectified in time for him to qualify, so he just went out there and rode a lap like 8 seconds slower than everybody else.
Chase Briscoe is your pole sitter, the only car under 30 seconds at a 29.98, the only car over 180 miles per hour at 180.078. And he certainly is looking good in the qualifying department. Of his 7 poles, Brian, I don't suppose you have how many have been recently. Like within the last month, he's got like 5 of them, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, he's been on an absolute tear and by far has the most poles. I mean, if they had the old Clash where it was only pole sitters, there wouldn't be a whole lot of cars in that next year because Briscoe has the majority of them.
The people that are in, the drivers that are in the playoffs or the chase, let's call it that, qualified 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, 12th, 26th, 35th, and 37th. So they're kind of spread out, but boy, we're clogged up at the top. Brian, after Ryan Blaney wins at New Hampshire last week, which, by the way, we're doing pretty good. At least we did last week. Both PJ and Dan picked the 12 car to win last week. My pick, the 24, ended up 3rd, and Brian had Logano, who ended up 4th. I mean, we're right there, aren't we? You might as well take those cars that are in the playoffs because they seem to do really well at the end of the year. For one reason or another, they're all clogged up right up at the top. Just amazing. They've been the performers all year. It's not a surprise that they're performing now that we're in the playoffs chase. So there you have that. At any time during this program, if you wish to weigh in on anything we're talking about, you need to give us a call. That number, 414-421-7901, and we'd be glad to talk to you. The race will be televised today on USA Channel, which hasn't been doing real good, by the way, as far as ratings go, but that's neither here nor there. The green is at the exact same time as the first pitch for the Brewers game. Is that a coincidence? The Brewers don't start at 2 o'clock. why are we starting at 2:00 suddenly? Just to fight with, I don't know, whatever it is. It's going to be a perfect day for racing. It's going to be in the 80s in Kansas City with a 0% chance of rain. The Packers are playing tonight. You don't have to worry about juggling with back and forth there. If you're going to juggle with anything, it's to see if the Brewers can actually knock the Reds out of the playoffs. That would be interesting too, by the way. So there you have it. And that's it in a nutshell. The race is at a 1.5-mile track, as Brian mentioned. It's the cookie cutter. It's one of the cookie cutters. The stages are at lap 80 and 165. It is a 267-mile race. And again, this is the 5th race of the playoffs.
And it's going to be hot. I mean, it's something we don't expect for the fall race at Kansas is heat. And it's going to be upper 80s, low 90s in Kansas City today. So those cars are going to be slipping and sliding around.
It's interesting because they have been working on a new tire. It's a new right side tire only that they're going to use here at Kansas. It's apparently it's going to be where they have to figure out a perfect solution between grip and speed. It's going to give the crew chiefs something to work on during the race, and it's new, and Goodyear's pretty proud of it, and they've been working on it for a while. And they're apparently the notes that you've had all these other races, you can throw them out and start over because this is a new tire. So I guess that makes it kind of fun, right? A little something extra to keep track of today. We need it. We need some interest. And at a 1.5-mile track, it's going to add to it. This is as I mentioned, the 5th race of the playoffs. So right smack dab in the middle. And Brian, at this point, we still have today and the Roval next week to worry about who's going to get eliminated, right?
Yeah, and right now 2311 is the team that seems to be in the biggest trouble. And if you look at past history, the 2311 cars have performed really well at Kansas, but not in recent history. So Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick are the bottom 2 guys right now. They're 27 out is Bubba, 23 behind is Tyler Reddick. Then you have Austin Cindric 19 out and Ross Chastain 12 out. Chase Briscoe starts on the pole, is the 8th car right now. He's 12 to the good. Elliott is 14 to the good. Logano, 24 to the good. He has to start last today, so he's not going to be able to grab any stage points, you wouldn't think, unless they turn their strategy around. Guys that are pretty safe right now, William Byron, he's 47 to the good. Kyle Larson's 41 to the good. Bell is 29 to the good, and Hamlin is 27 to the good. So kind of a balancing act for these guys today because the Roval is such a crapshoot. You want to get your business done today and get yourself in a position where you don't have to really worry about weird stuff happening next week at the Goofy Roval.
And it's kind of weird is that those 2311 cars, everybody thinks they're so good at Kansas. But you brought up the fact, Brian, it's been a couple of years. And people kind of forget that. And they're so used to those cars running good here. But it's been like 2 years, hasn't it?
Right. And that I heard interviews with both Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick yesterday talking about that, and they said they just expect them to, dominate here. And they're like, well, it's been a couple of years since we've been that good. Recent history has Kyle Larson running really good there. If you remember back in spring, he dominated that race back in spring. You wouldn't expect anybody to dominate it today with the weird conditions. The spring race, I think it was a much cooler conditions. So today, with the grip level being a lot less, it should make for more comers and goers and a more interesting race. Logano's the one I'm interested in because everybody wants to see him get out. He had such a good race last week to put himself in a good position, but having to start last today,
remember something. This is the race that he knocked Matt out of the way
10 years ago. That was already, believe it or not,
10 years ago. Good God.
Yeah. But he is not a really good performer on the Roval. So see where he finishes up today and see how those Penske cars, which are all struggling mightily right now. Blaney's obviously locked in, but the other Penske cars, how they run today to see where they set themselves up for next week. Because you're going to hear a cheer from the crowd if somehow Logano were to get bumped next week.
And I think that Joey uses that as momentum.
Absolutely.
Motivation.
Yes.
There you go. We're glad you're tuned in as we're getting ready to race in Kansas. We'll be back right after these.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Kick is up, and it is good. And the Cleveland Browns have won.
Now 2-1. The Packers hit the road for a Sunday night matchup with the Cowboys on 97.3 The Game.
Welcome back to LTN. Thanks for being with us. Some news. First of all, Bob Pockris is like a god, really, among all the journalists that follow NASCAR closely. And he put something out this week. We never really figured out, did we? If he did it himself or if somebody jumped on his X page and posted that Rodney Childers was coming back as the crew chief for Kyle Busch. And I thought, wow. Geez, I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Here, seems like that we did.
We did.
Yeah, and would be a perfect place for him. What a pairing that would be. Well, it was fake news. Where have I heard that before? Mm-hmm. Fake news. Mm-hmm. It was fake news because Rodney Childers did sign. We know that, but it was with Junior Motorsports, and it's not even with the Cup team. Because the Juniors doesn't have a Cup team. Well, they did, but it was one race. But it turns out it's going to be for the number one car. And you think, well, that's really great. Rodney Childers is going to hook up with Carson Kvapil. And what a team. That'll be good for Kvapil, good for except one thing. It turns out the way the story goes after it was amended is that Connor Zilisch is going to come back and drive for Junior Motorsports for select races, and he's going to share the ride with Carson Kvapil, which to us would mean Carson Kvapil has lost his full-time gig next year, even though he's had a pretty decent rookie season in the Xfinity Series. He's going to come back next year in the O'Reilly Series as a part-timer in that number one car. So how does that work? Zilisch is going to run Junior Motorsports for the O'Reilly Series and Trackhouse for the Cup Series. Is that sort of thing happen all the time? I can't place it, but it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, because Junior Motorsports is kind of like just the Chevy overall feeder team for both the Hendrick and Trackhouse teams for the most part. I mean, they've had different drivers in their cars for multiple times. You know, Van Gisbergen, I guess, is a good example of that. He drives for Trackhouse and then drives a lot of times for Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series. Ran a full-time Junior Motorsports Xfinity car last year. So, yeah, Junior is just a feeder series. But boy, what a experience for these young kids to be able to, especially Carson Kvapil, to be able to work with Rodney and learn some of his, things that just tap into his knowledge. I think it's going to be a help. I wish it would be for a full-time deal, but even just for part of it, I think it's going to help him a lot.
And as part of that whole scenario, speaking of Connor Zilisch, he is getting himself a crew chief. Good news and bad news, I'm not real sure. Randall Burnett, Kyle Busch's crew chief, who has guided that career right down the toilet, is going to go over and be the crew chief for Zilisch next year. Now, I can't blame Randall Burnett for Kyle Busch's problems completely because, let's be honest here, Kyle Busch doesn't like and hasn't adapted to the new car at all. That's what the biggest turning point of his career is, when they changed to this new car, because he just doesn't have a handle on it. And Randall Burnett hasn't helped him at all. So, he's going to stay with Kyle Busch this year, Burnett is, until the end of the year. Is that good? I guess. And then he's going to leave. Burnett is going to leave, and he's going to join up with Connor Zilisch for Trackhouse Racing for next year. Then we have to think, who's Kyle Busch going to get for a crew chief? Who's going to step up and try to resurrect Rowdy's career? Because, it's funny how, do you remember back in the day when Darrell Waltrip, he won all those races and everybody hated him, and every time he'd get on a track, he was the guy and blah, blah, blah. It was the same with Kyle Busch, except, Kyle wasn't as charming as Waltrip was. So Kyle Busch is winning everything and everybody's booing all the time. And now, since his career is absolutely in the toilet, people are rooting for him. He's never been more popular than he is now, because it's like anybody else. Well, let's see if this guy can reclaim the magic and come back and win a race. The question is, can he do it? And if so, who's going to help him do it? I don't even know that there's names out there, are there?
I don't know that if it's possible in that car, to be honest with you. I think the best thing for Kyle Busch, for him to have happen, is for NASCAR to open up the ability for these Cup drivers to run an unlimited amount of Xfinity and truck races again, so that Kyle can get back into those cars, start winning a little bit in there again, and then see what happens in the Cup car, because I just don't see it happening in the Cup car. He just can't adapt to it. He doesn't know. Everything that you do on that Cup car is so foreign for what most asphalt short track racers deal with, that it just doesn't connect. He doesn't know how to do it. And if you look, Denny Hamlin's probably the only old timer, you would say, that's been able to adapt to those cars. If you look at all the drivers that have been around that were here before that car and after that car, he's about the only one. Larson wasn't dominant in the old car, per se,
Yeah.
But Hamlin had equal parts of a lot of wins on both sides of it. Larson is kind of hit and miss in the new car, and only had a year with Hendrick in the old style car. But it's just I don't see it happening with him.
How much of that is he got to want it too? How much is it on Kyle Busch himself? You got to make adjustments.
True.
Do you want to do it?
That's what I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Go ahead, Dan.
No, go ahead. So some of these guys have a attitude where I'm good, make the car work for me, and it just doesn't work that way.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think Kyle Busch sometimes is his own worst enemy, and there is nothing you can do when somebody wants to dig their heels in and not give a little bit,
But he can see it's not working, and boy, it's hard to imagine Kyle Busch going the rest of his career without winning another race, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's certainly possible.
Well,
I think he might end up just pouring himself into his son Brexton's career and seeing where that goes. Brexton just recently did some dirt go-kart racing or something recently. So he's kind of getting him into a little bit of everything. And I think he's just going to pour his energy into his kid if things don't turn around.
And a lot like Keelan Harvick right now for Kevin's son. I think Brexton's only a couple years behind Keelan's age. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him turning up in some asphalt late model stuff, which is really Kyle Busch's bread and butter. When you get down to it, his super late model and pro late model stuff was really, really good. And once you get Keelan, or once you get Brexton going in that, I can see Kyle becoming a different individual.
Mm-hmm.
Brexton is younger, you said, than Keelan. Keelan's taller. I just don't know how old Brexton must be.
I don't know if Brexton turned 10 yet or not.
Oh, good.
So
God.
he's a lot younger.
Just keep one little thing in mind. When part of the deal, when Kyle Busch signed with Childress, as he had to give his kid a future contract. Remember that? Is that really a thing, or was that just a joke? Good question. Probably a joke, but in the meantime, he just could be a guy that will turn that program around. Who knows? They need it. We'll be back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Rush on, tight pocket. There we go. Set. There you go. There's the pressure they've been waiting for. Edger and Cooper. Cairo Santos for the game. Here's the snap. Placement made. The kick is blocked. It is blocked. It is blocked. And the Packers have won. Beautiful.
The home of your Green Bay Packers and the flagship of the Packers Radio Network.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
97.3 The Game.
Some interesting things happening in the Ivory Tower down in Daytona Beach. One didn't make much in the form of waves, and one kind of did. The one that didn't make waves, which, is not a big surprise. We got a guy by the name of Chip Weil. I never heard of him. Any of you guys heard of him? Chip Weil?
Yeah, he was always down at Daytona. We saw him there quite a bit when we were there for the 500.
He was the the senior NASCAR holdings executive. What the hell is that? He's still there. He's going to be there through the end of the year in that capacity. But it turns out what he does is he oversees the tracks. And Ben Kennedy is going to take over. He is from the France hierarchy. As you know, he's Big Bill's great
grandson.
Yep.
Great grandson, yeah. So, it's a good place for him, I guess. That we've known he's on his way. Former truck driver, truck series driver, and he's going to take over. No, now that's not a big deal as far as I'm concerned. It's a much bigger deal and very mysterious. There is a guy named Jusen. I never paid close attention. I remember kind of when he screwed up at Texas that time. Jusen Hamilton. He is the NASCAR race director, and he was fired this week. All that was said from the Ivory Tower was that it was not performance related, which to me means, okay, then what was it? Sex, drugs, or rock and roll? Obviously not rock and roll. Did he get caught with somebody's wife, or did they catch him doing lines in the men's room? Either one is going to get your ass fired. But isn't that very strange that the guy who's the race director gets the axe? It's an odd time for it too. Any thoughts?
Yeah, well, he was one of 2 race directors. So there'll be another one the other guy will just take over the rest of the year. But he was kind of a major player there. He also had some hands in doing the scheduling and stuff, and he was kind of touted as like a superstar before. He came under question with some questionable calls, like when to throw cautions, when not to throw cautions. That's where his name finally got out in the news that we know who he was. They just said he's not with the company anymore. I don't know if they fired him or what. He's not with the company anymore, and it's not performance related. So nobody knows why. It's a pretty big piece of that race control tower that's suddenly gone.
Wouldn't we love to know?
A guy by the name of Tim Berman will be the race director for the rest of the season, it says.
And he's been working in the tower, right?
Yes. So I don't know which one was in charge. I mean, the race director role came to light during Chicago, remember, when was it Cody Ware just blasted that straightaway wall at the Chicago street circuit and sat there for over a lap before they actually threw the caution and sent the safety crew over there. And that's when that really drew the ire of a lot of people about the director's position. So I don't know if.
And that's where we heard Juzen's name, I guess.
Yeah.
And Dan was the same thing with him at Texas, correct?
That was one of the calls. I'm not sure if that was him or Tim that was there for that one. There were other ones throughout the year, though, that last 2 years that's come up. We never really heard much about the race director. All we knew before was it was David Hoots because he was there for so long. And then when he retired, they replaced him with these 2 guys. And then when things started coming to light as far as making decisions, the biggest one was always when not to throw a yellow. Do you throw a yellow and when to re-rack them for a playoff finish or just let the race finish to the checkered flag kind of thing?
Especially on the plate track or on the the drafting tracks, as we call it now. That's always been a touchy-feely subject there. Wreck happens on the backstretch. They're in 3 and 4, coming to the checker. Do you throw it? Do you not? Remember, NASCAR's had a lot of problems with that over the year, trying to make a decision whether they do or whether they don't. And, Jusan's been in the middle of a lot of that.
You never notice when a guy is doing the job right. You never, if everything goes right, the race director is a non-factor. It's when they screw up that they say, who the hell made that call? Well, that would be Jusen. Well, it's all about officiating consistency, and he's been much better. So I can't imagine when they said he's not it wasn't performance related. Then what was he caught with? What cookie jar did he have his hand in that he got fired?
Or maybe he found something else and just left on his own.
I don't think so. I'm looking at Reddit.
What are they saying?
Oh, there's somebody who actually must work in NASCAR, and they said if you had to work with him or around him, you'd be cheering. I sure as hell am.
Wow, there you go. I mean, let's be honest. He was probably a DEI hire, and that's kind of something that's not really. I mean, you could use the words going by the wayside right now. So there's a lot of companies that are cleaning out a lot of those DEI hires, and maybe NASCAR is just another one of them.
It's very possible that he was just a plain old ick prey. That's going to happen. And but that is not a reason to get fired necessarily, unless somebody finally had enough of it and said, you got to change your ways. Blah blah blah. Either way, all of a sudden we're getting this from NASCAR. Imagine that things are changing up in the ivory tower. That's the way that works. Let's see. We're going. This is the second, as we mentioned, second round of the playoffs. The first one last week had New Hampshire. This is Kansas. Next week they go to the Roval, as you may have heard, and I'm trying to figure out if this is going to be the SVG show like most road courses are. It's going to be track position, which is important, but all of a sudden. We're going to throw a road course in with the playoffs. Is this a good idea or not?
Yeah, I mean, last year we had 2 road courses in the playoffs because Watkins Glen was also around in one of the rounds. So, I don't particularly like that track. Not many people do. We're going to have to deal with it again next year as well before maybe they finally get rid of it. But I would fully expect SVG to dominate it, and the fact that he's out of the playoffs means everybody else is going to be racing for points.
All right. Well, lots to look forward to, that's for sure. We're happy you're tuned in. We're going to sneak away for a break and come right back. Hang in there.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Kick is up, and it is good. And the Cleveland Browns have won.
Now 2-1. The Packers hit the road for a Sunday night matchup with the Cowboys on 97.3 The Game.
Welcome back to LTN. Thanks for joining us. You know, there's we love rumors. This show, when it started back in 1985, it had to do with the rumor mill, and it was always the funnest part of the year. But here's a good one that's circulating right now, and I'm having a hard time understanding whether we should actually believe this or not. The rumor is that the old point system might be on its way back, and you know, NASCAR, the way they do business, when they're thinking of doing something, what they'll do is they'll float it out there. They'll call a reporter up and whisper in their ear, "I don't know about you, but you might mention the Latford system is what that was." And I'm trying to figure out if that would be a legitimate rumor or not, because it's so in tune with what the television networks want. And the question would be, why change it? Because everyone's screaming that they don't like it?
Yeah, I mean, that could be. I honestly don't see that happening, but it sure is something that is, being floated out there. I guess we'll put it this way, until we get to Phoenix and we see how these championships play out, if you get a scenario where Heim does not win the Truck Series title and Zilisch doesn't win the Xfinity Series title, and you get some, Joey Logano winning the Cup Series title again, I can see it happening then for sure, because boy, your season-long product that you put out there is going to have nothing to do with how you finish. And I think the screaming is going to be really loud. If you have a scenario where Heim, Zilisch, and who knows, Blaney or somebody who seems a little bit more legit wins your Cup Series title, then I don't see it happening. I see him sticking with the current system. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but you're going to get a lot less screaming if that's the way it goes.
But Brian, think about this. This is what the beautiful thing about any playoffs is, whether it's NBA, NFL, baseball. When you have the guys that have qualified for the playoffs, anybody can win it if they get hot. And it's the same thing. So why would this be different? It's a little bit like this. The Brewers have the best record in all of baseball, and if they don't win the World Series, they go, "Oh, well, how's that fair?" Well, because you have to perform during the playoffs, correct?
Right, and the screaming you hear from the motorsports purists is, we don't want to be like the stick and ball sports. And I see a lot of that, and I agree with a lot of that as well. Your full body of work. I mean, this is the longest season in any kind of professional sports. If you think about it, baseball, the baseball season starts and finishes before we start and finish. So, and I think for so many years, NASCAR was pushing to try to grab, what you call the coast fans from the East Coast and the West Coast to try to get, and that's really not working right now because, your ratings are down. Your interest level seems to be waning a little bit. That's a whole nother story, but I think that has a part to it where now maybe NASCAR is going to flip it and say, all right, I guess maybe we should go after and try to keep our current fans that were with us in the long haul. And that would be a quick flip back to the old system again. I don't know that this is the right way to do stuff, but that's the only way I can see why they're doing this is because they're just doing a 180 on their whole tactic now.
Yeah, true that. It's all true. Everything you said, I agree with, Brian. For me, I'm not sure I like this segment racing, and nobody is saying that there's going to be any changes there. Now, what's wrong with segment racing? Well, it to me, there's not a bad idea to get everybody to race their ass off in the middle of the race and get some little bonus points. And but it certainly takes a chunk of time and laps out of a race. It's 10 minutes worth of commercials and pit stops and analysis and BS. Also, now that's just one thing. In fact, who was it that just said the segment racing wouldn't be so bad as long as we didn't have the cautions? Just keep racing at the segment. Would that make sense?
Christopher Bell there was an interview with him. I don't know if it was last week or this week. Talked about I don't mind awarding the points because it's always good when you can award points, but these long stops in between and these 10 minutes of nothing happening and the fans in the stands. It's a chance to go to the bathroom, but everybody does, and you know how that doesn't work. I mean, Dan, remember being at the 500 when a break when one of the stage breaks would happen, everybody gets up. And it's like, well, now's not when you're going to go to the bathroom. You're going to go to the concession stand, mass exodus.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got to plan it right because if you do it on the stage breaks, everybody same with getting food. If you're hungry or thirsty, you want to get something to eat or drink, you got to do it probably during one of the while the race is going on because during the stage breaks, you're not going to. By the time you got your food, you're going to miss the start of the next segment.
Again, this is a television call, and it's a little bit like the 2-minute warning for football. You stop playing and you run a bunch of commercials when there's 2 minutes left in the half or at the end of the game. So it's about the same type of thing. We're playing commercials. This is a great planned commercial break. To me, the playoff points thing is really the worst of all of it. You could explain it to me till you're blue in the face, and I still don't get it. What these point in the bucket crap, what good is it? Who cares? At the end, I suppose, at the very end of the year in the last race, would it matter there? No, it wouldn't. So what you have is, remember, SVG, he has so many playoff points, he can't possibly not make it through the first round into the second round. And what good did it do? Not a damn bit of good. So here we are.
And there's a Twitter account or X account, you would say, that has the old Cup Series points. So think of this. After New Hampshire, right now, Christopher Bell would have a 6-point lead over Chase Briscoe and a 71-point lead over Chase Elliott. Remember, they awarded a lot more points back then. So Christopher Bell is sitting at 4,007 points, and Chase Briscoe would only be 6 behind. So under the old system right now in the Cup Series, you'd be having one hell of a great race. Now, on the flip side of that, in the Xfinity side, Zilish would have a 238-point lead in the Xfinity standings right now with the old system. So there's pluses and minuses of them both.
As they would say, he deserves it, though. I mean, God.
Absolutely.
But
your Cup Series run for the championship right now would be really good between two, really good deserving drivers, Bell and Briscoe, two Gibbs cars.
The year Matt Kenseth won the championship in 2003, he had one win. And they'll say, well, how could he deserve it? Well, he was most consistent. The Latford point system rewarded consistency. Is that what you want? Is that the thing? You're not getting the the rewards for wins. Maybe they need to go back and modify it again, come up with something better.
Yep.
Well, we'll see about all that. They don't listen to everything we say, believe it or not. We'll be right back.
Fall has arrived, but there's still time to get your landscaping complete before the snow flies. And PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Gear up, race fans. From October 3rd to the 5th, Road America hosts the 61st running of the SCCA National Championship Runoff. Witness the nation's top SCCA racers go head-to-head on one of America's most iconic tracks in the ultimate battle for glory. The runoffs have over 50 years of history, showcasing the best in amateur road racing. Don't miss this high-octane showdown. Be a part of the action and experience the pinnacle of U.S. motorsport. Get tickets at www.roadamerica.com.
Love waits for the snap, and here it is. Rushan has time, throws left side of the end zone. Catch made. Romeo Dobbs at the pylon. Touchdown, Green Bay. And he throws the football into the stands. To Richardson. Winds up deep down the right side into a gaggle of bodies. It's broken up. Intercepted by the Packers.
The home of your Green Bay Packers and the flagship of the Packers Radio Network.
And there is your dagger.
97.3 The Game.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
We're winding down the dirt track racing season across the upper Midwest here, as sure doesn't feel like it, but they say fall is upon us. We'll start Thursday night, Francis Creek, Wisconsin, the 141 Speedway for the Treek Strong Creek Classic. Say that 5 times fast. Night number 1, the dirt late models were the headliners. Cole Sarneski was your feature winner there, and then they had asphalt late models run on the dirt. They had about 12 or 13 of them show up. Brazen Bennett won that. Also Thursday night, Spring Valley, Minnesota, the Deer Creek Speedway for the USMTS Fall Jamboree. Night number 1, Joel Chisholm was your feature winner there. Friday night number 2 of the Creek Classic at 141. In the IMCA Modifieds, Benji Lacrosse was your winner. The IMCA Stock Cars was Austin Jansen. And the Grand Nationals was Jeff Richards. Night number 2 at Deer Creek for the Fall Jamboree for the USMTS Modifieds, Dustin Sorensen was your winner there. Brownstown, Indiana, Friday night for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Nick Hoffman grabbed his first Lucas Oil feature win. He's a World of Outlaw regular, so always interesting when you see an outlaw guy win a Lucas Oil race. Paragon, Indiana for the USAC AMSOIL National Sprint Cars. Mitchell Moles was your feature winner. And in Findlay, Ohio, the Millstream Speedway for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. David Gravel was your feature winner there. Last night at Plymouth was their big Wisconsin Sprint Car Championships. The IRA Sprint Cars were the headliners, $7,000 to win, and Logan Julian continued his late season tear, picking up his 4th feature win since the middle of August. Your 2025 IRA champion was Blake Nimme. The IRA Wingless Sprints, Tyler Cuxhouse was your feature winner, and your champion was Adam Taylor. And the MSA 360s, Chris Clayton grabbed his 2nd career feature win, and your 2025 MSA Sprint Car champion was Ben Schmidt. Final night at 141 for the Creek Classic for the IMCA Modifieds, Cody Schrader was your winner. Stock Cars was Benji Lacrosse, and the Grand Nationals was Jeff Richards. Up at Ashland, Wisconsin, the 50th Red Clay Classic for the Wissota Late Models. $15,000 to win for those Wissota Late Models. Kevin Eder was your feature winner there. And in the Wissota Modifieds, Daryl Nelson. Down in Peoria, Illinois, $5,000 to win for the Illinois State Championships for the UMP Late Models. Ryan Unsicker grabbed the win there. Final night at Deer Creek for the Fall Jamboree, $15,000 to win for the USMTS Modifieds. Brandon Davis picked up the win there. Over at Quincy, Michigan, the Butler Motor Speedway for the USAC AMSOIL National Sprint Cars, Kyle Cummins grabbed the feature win. Bridgeport, New Jersey for the High Limit Sprint Car Series. Danny Sams III grabbed his first career High Limit feature win. That might be his first national win ever, too. Congratulations to him. Hartford, Ohio, the Sharon Speedway for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. 61-year-old Dale Blaney beat the Outlaws to win the World of Outlaw feature. That is an impressive feat in itself right there. Even though they're pretty dominant at that track, they might even own that track from what I all know.
I think that's the oldest winner of the Outlaws series right now. I think he set the record for that.
Really? I knew it had to be either him or Sammy Swindell, but I don't know how long it's been since Sammy has actually won a World of Outlaw feature. But that was a pretty cool story. And finally, the big money race of the weekend was in Brownstown, Indiana for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Jackson 100, $50,000 to win. And Ricky Thornton Jr. continued to do Ricky Thornton Jr. things, picking up the $50,000 there after winning the World 100 a couple weeks ago. He's just having a great year again. That is everything for this week.
On to the asphalt side of things. On Friday night, the ARCA Menard Series was at Kansas Speedway. Brendan Butterbean Queen once again heading into victory lane. Last night, ARCA Menard Series West was at Madera Speedway out in California. The winner was Trevor Huddleston. Marshfield Super Speedway had their fall shootout. The winner was John Beal. He also had fast time and won the fast dash, so it was a clean sweep for him. Elko Speedway double late model features. Hunter Payne swept both of those. The Southern Super Series Night of Champions at Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola. Pro late model winner was Spencer Davis, not the musician. Super late model winner was Dawson Sutton. Cole Butcher was 5th in that race, Bubba Pollard 9th, and Stephen Massey 10th. Jefferson Speedway had their Wisconsin State Championship Round 2. The 602 late models were running double features. Dennis Prunty won the first, and Nick Schneider won the second. Prunty finished second in the second feature, so I got to believe he had the championship on that one, although I don't have the official word. And then finally, the Valley Star 300 was last night at Richmond International Raceway. The winner was Landon Pembleton after a great battle with Lee Pulliam. Ty Majeski ended up starting 39th and finished 6th. Caden Quapple was 13th. And then, of course, Oktoberfest race begins next Thursday, the whole weekend at La Crosse Speedway.
Don't they have campers there all week?
The campgrounds open up on Monday, tomorrow, yeah.
What the hell do you do for 3 days there?
Gosh, I wonder.
Rink?
Yeah. There's people that bring hot tubs out. Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's an event.
It really is.
That's pretty funny.
And this year the weather is going to cooperate. So we've had a couple of years now. We've had some decent weather, so it should be a good night. A good
I
weekend,
think
actually.
this is going to last all through next week.
I do.
I don't
Yes,
even
it
know.
is supposed to. Correct.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. What's happening? I think global warming is finally not a rumor anymore. Who knows? Hey, we got a programming note for you here. We know this is coming up. Mark your calendars now. We'll give you another heads up next week. But WOKY, Fox Sports 920, is going to have NFL programming on Sunday mornings of October 12th and October 19th. The only way you will be able to hear this program will be as if you have a computer. And I know that we have some old timers that don't have computers. You are going to be, as we say in the business, SOL on those weeks. You will be able to download the podcast and listen to it at iHeart or iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. But for those 2 weeks coming up, the NFL is going to take precedent here. We knew this was going to happen on occasion. It's not a big deal. We will return. Don't panic.
And if you don't want to install Facebook to listen from there, just go to YouTube and you can find the LTN on there and listen on YouTube.
That's correct. Oh, by the way, PJ, the Racing Nuggets program, the one that's currently running, is all about Grant Griesbach's breakout season, isn't it?
It is. If you want to catch that, you can find it anywhere you get your podcasts, or just head over to YouTube as well.
When we come back after this break, we're going to talk real briefly about the drama going on at Joe Gibbs Racing between Denny Hamlin and the heir apparent Ty Gibbs. You can't tell me to get out of your way. My name is on the door. We'll see about that. We'll talk about it when we come back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Gear up, race fans. From October 3rd to the 5th, Road America hosts the 61st running of the SCCA National Championship Runoff. Witness the nation's top SCCA racers go head-to-head on one of America's most iconic tracks in the ultimate battle for glory. The runoffs have over 50 years of history, showcasing the best in amateur road racing. Don't miss this high-octane showdown. Be a part of the action and experience the pinnacle of U.S. motorsport. Get tickets at www.roadamerica.com.
Kick is up, and it is good. And the Cleveland Browns have won.
Now 2-1. The Packers hit the road for a Sunday night matchup with the Cowboys on 97.3 The Game.
So you got to say that was fun last week. Here's Ty Gibbs, who is just, I am positive, so frustrated that he hasn't won a race yet. He was the next, when he got the first race in Xfinity car, he wins on a road course. He's like the next big thing. He's the man over there. And he hasn't done really very much since then. He's led some laps, but not very many when you look at the big picture. And so here he is trying to win. Dan, they have changed personnel around him to try and get that first win, right?
Yeah, that's been a big goal of that team since he's been over there. This is his third year now, I think, that he's in there and they haven't won yet. I mean, they brought in crew chief was Chris Gale at the beginning, and he made a lot of changes, and it was a real big deal there to get the 54 car to win. And there was a really a goal of them to get that to happen. It hasn't happened yet. Last year with Hamlin, they moved, was it Chris Gabehart up to a competition director type role, right? And they brought Chris Gale over from the 54 car to the 11 car. They changed personnel to help the 54 win, and he hasn't done it. And you look at, go even farther back. I mean, look at that. We mentioned last week, why doesn't Corey Heim have an Xfinity ride there, being as much as he's done in the trucks? That would be the most logical thing competition wise. One that goes back that, Ty's mom runs the company over there, and apparently people say he'll never get a ride there because of something that happened back in an ARCA East race 2 years ago between the two. And so if that's going on there too, I can get the frustration. Some of these guys that have been there a while, like Hamlin, that's I'm racing for a championship here, and this kid's racing me for every position this early in a race. Why are we doing this?
Right, you understand. Gibbs is frustrated and he wants to win, and he has a car that's very good, but of course we're not thinking of the big picture. And here's Hamlin and C. Bell trying to get by Gibbs, and Gibbs is racing the living daylights out of him. And so finally, Hamlin moves him. I don't know that there's anybody that was on Ty Gibbs' side through that whole thing. You're going to mess with these guys long enough, and then you're going to get moved. And wouldn't you have loved to have been on that meeting on Monday when they all sit around the big table and talk about the race before? You can't move me like that. I had a good car. You gotta look at the big picture. We're trying to win a championship here, okay? Someday we'll give you a break, but you're not in it again.
And Denny Hamlin doesn't apologize for nothing. That's the best part about it. I mean, It was your senior guy at that place who has never won a championship, who thinks he's got his best shot of it. And when it was all over, he just kind of scoffed at it. No comment. Perfect.
And the clock is ticking on Hamlin too.
Oh, absolutely. And he knows, Ty's kind of a little bit of a punk, so he's just like, whatever. I don't care. You're not performing, but I am.
A little bit of a punk.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Some of the least popular drivers in all of NASCAR are driving Toyotas, which I think is perfect. All right there. All right. So we're getting ready to make our picks for this week at Kansas. We've got some guys that really need to do well to keep their heads above water. I'm not going to pick first. I think let's go ahead and start with PJ this week and see how consistent she is.
Well, I know you're all going to be like, oh, really? I don't care that he's starting at the back. I'm still riding with Ryan Blaney.
All right. Because, okay. I was going to make a smart-ass comment about how cute he was, but that really doesn't have much to do with it, I guess.
I just like riding, Todd.
Okay. Brian, you're next.
This is going to be a Gibbs versus Hendrick day, and I think Gibbs is gonna win out, and it's going to be Denny Hamlin winning today.
Oh, my. Yeah. Okay. Dano?
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be Gibbs versus Hendrick, but I'm going the Hendrick route. Those cars look really good in the last couple of years. He's been good here. I'm going to go with Kyle Larson.
Really? Fine. Oh, okay. For one reason or another, I just had the feeling you were going to go with Chase Elliott today. And I'm going to agree with you, Dan, that it's going to be a Hendrick car. But I'm sticking with my guy, Willie B. I think it's going to be the 24 car today. If he's going to win a championship, like I think he is going to, he's going to have to win here eventually. And today would be a good day for that. So, we'll see how that goes. It's a 1.5 mile track. The green flag is at 2:05 this afternoon. It's televised on USA Channel. You have to have satellite or cable to get it. It's a perfect day for racing. 80s, upper 80s, no chance of rain. Packers don't play till tonight. The only thing you'd have to juggle with is possibly the Brewers' last game today. So it's all good. It's going to be a good event down there. I don't think they've had this hot weather at this time of year down there. Of course, we can say the same thing about up here too, right? We don't have this hot weather this often either. So, okay, who's going to La Crosse next week, by the way?
Moi.
You'll be there, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to unfortunately miss it this year. The Brewers playoff game is Saturday the 4th. I have tickets. I was going to try to maybe make it up there Thursday and Friday. There's still maybe a possibility I get there for that because I'd hate to miss that weekend because it's so much fun. But that Brewers schedule, and I've got seats in section 110, and I don't want to miss that, especially with Brewers Cubs.
I would hate to miss our annual photo, too.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, we got to do that. That tradition's been going on like 12 years now.
Brian, are you going?
I will be at the SCCA National Championship runoffs next week at Road America.
Wow, you guys are all very busy.
What about you, Todd?
Yeah, what about you?
I don't. I'll be hosting LTN from home, and that's pretty much the whole thing. Does sound like fun. That 1 year I'll have to go to La Crosse earlier than Sunday. It sounds like. Thanks for tuning in. This is the playoffs. Or the chase, whichever you want to call it. It does add some drama, there's no doubt, and we got some drama today from Kansas City, so we'll keep our eyes open for that. For all of us involved, we want you to remember that real race cars have floors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losey, and for all of us, we're proud to be on the radio for 41 seasons doing this program, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.